down if your man ever cheated on you with your sister. No? I'm the only one with my finger down? Yeah, that's what I thought, because this shit isn't normal. So boom, let me give you the backstory on my perfect relationship. I've been dating Jackson for 2 years. He was my man. I thought he was my forever, my ride or die. Like, I was down bad for this man. But I mean, can you really blame me whenever somebody's texting you every morning saying, good morning, I love you, you're the only girl that I can see myself with? Maybe he thought that because my sister and I share the same DNA, it doesn't count. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Jackson and I met in school. I was a cheerleader, he was on the basketball team. Super cliche, I know, but whatever. Things were going so well between us. I was like, let me introduce him to my family. We were having a barbecue for the 4th of July and it was the perfect time. And this is where I introduced him to my older sister, Savannah, who was quite literally the golden child. She could never do anything wrong. Anything that she did it better than me. It was definitely giving Batman and Robin. I was Robin because she was literally always the fucking star of the show. But there was never any hatred. Like, that was still my best friend. So yeah, they meet, everything is normal. And if I'm being honest, she would hype us up. Like, anytime that she saw us together or I would talk about him, she'd be like, oh my gosh, you guys are so cute together. I love how much he adores you, blah, 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 blah. If I look back at it now, these signs were literally punching me in the fucking face. Because Jackson started acting weird. His text got dry as hell. No more I miss you, no more can't wait to see you, none of that. All of a sudden, he was way too tired to FaceTime with me and hang out, but he would be active on Instagram all night. And the amount of times the excuse, babe, I'm sorry, I can't come over, my mom needs me, was used was absolutely absurd, because his mom did not need him. Apparently my sister did. Now Savannah started being weird too. She stopped inviting me to go places with her. She got weirdly defensive whenever I would mention my own boyfriend. And sometimes I would catch them texting each other and I'd be like, girl, why are you texting my man? She'd be like, oh, we were just talking about your birthday gift. I know you guys are probably thinking, girl, you're dumb. You're dumb. What do you mean you didn't know that something was going on? I'm sorry, but if my sister and boyfriend are acting weird, I don't think anybody at first would put 2 and 2 together and be like, oh, the reason why my sister's acting weird is because she's fucking my boyfriend. No, you're just gonna think that 2 people in your life are going through something. Or maybe that's just me. Anyways, so let's fast forward to the night that I found out about my man and my sister sneaking around behind my back. Of course, Jackson is supposed to come and hang out with me, but then he texts me and he's like, babe, I don't feel good. I think I'm just gonna stay home tonight. And I tried to be extremely understanding. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I love you. Get some rest and feel better. Fast forward 30 minutes later, maybe an hour, not really. Savannah goes, I'm gonna go out for a little bit. I'll be back later. And she didn't invite me to go, which I'm not saying that she had to, but it was weird because we did everything together. So later on that night, I'm on Snapchat, and that's whenever I see Trey, aka Jackson's best friend, posted a video on his story at a party. It was extremely blurry and the camera was all smoky, but I know my man, and I damn well know my sister, who I've been around my whole entire life. I saw them in the back of the video, and my man has his arm around her waist. So I screen recorded that shit so fucking fast. I zoom in to make sure that I was not about to crash out for no reason. So I zoom in and I got the confirmation that a crash out was necessary. So I grabbed my keys. I drove straight to that fucking party, which it was rough not going off on them over text, but I was like, you know what? I want to surprise them. I walk in and I see them sitting on a couch and Savannah is sitting in between his legs while his hands are just on her thighs and they're all laughing and giggling like shit is fucking funny and it's not. I walk up to them. I grab a drink right off the table, threw it in his fucking face and getting it on hers as well. So they both look at me like a deer in the headlights. And I'm like, so what's going on, guys? And Jackson was like, oh, like we're just hanging out. And I'm like, oh, so she decided to hang out in the middle of your legs. That's where she decided to hang out? In between your legs? And then my sister starts trying to play the victim. And she's like, you're blowing this out of proportion. This is nothing, blah, blah, blah. So I look at him and I'm like, you can have her. I hope she was worth it. And I look at her and I'm like, you can keep him too. Because the same way that you get them is the same way you're gonna fucking lose them. But I made sure to snap a picture and send it to the family group chat and say, oh my gosh, guys, look, Savannah finally found a boyfriend. Too bad it had to be mine. So after this, my mom is blowing up my fucking phone, and whenever Savannah and I get home, my dad is freaking out. Savannah starts screaming and crying like I was the problem. Like she didn't just go behind my back and screw my man. And Jackson, he tried calling me like 50 times whenever I got home, and I blocked him because fuck no. After this, my parents were pissed off at Savannah. Jackson and Savannah, they ended up dating for 2 months before he cheated on her. And me, obviously, I leveled the fuck up because you can't let something like that happen to you and then decide that you're gonna be depressed and sad for the rest of your life. No. I needed to make sure that that man knew he fucked up. Moral of the story, if your gut is saying that something is off, you should probably trust that shit, even if it's your own sister. Oh, and if your sister and your boyfriend are getting too friendly, start throwing hands. Don't even wait. Literally, start swinging.
Story time on how one of my best friends completely ruined our friendship over a boy. This was about 4 months ago, and I always tell you guys I'll talk about it when I'm healed from it, so let's talk. Starting off, for those that don't know, we had a friend group of 7 girls. We hung out every single weekend since Christmas, I'd say, and hung out every single day at school. 4 out of the 6 girls I was closest with, and then it was kind of like 2 friend groups combined. I was closest with 3 of the girls, and one of the girls being the girl. Me and her at a time were probably the closest out of everyone in the friend group, especially closest to who I was closest with. Went for lunch every single day. We had school hockey. We had school soccer. We were literally hanging out all the time. In fact, sleeping at my house while all of this was happening. Off social media, I was a thing with this guy on and off. It was pretty inconsistent, but my closest friends knew. We would go up there to see them once in a while, and my friends were friends with his friends. Basically, we completely stopped talking, and then I find out through his best friend that my friend was secretly texting him. A part of me believed it, but I really didn't want to believe it. And then he started to show me proof, and I was like, fuck. And at the time, it was very known that if you were my friend, you wouldn't text my ex-boyfriend or this specific guy. It came to my attention that they were texting behind my back, and when she would come to school, she would unadd him, or when she was near me, she would unadd him. So when she was alone, they were texting, having conversations like such as, I wish I was with you instead of you being with Haley. I wish you and Haley never talked so that we could be together. And in fact, we even went to one of his games together, and I didn't know that they were secretly texting. In my mind, this was something I really, really had to process because I was so incredibly upset. Whether you admit it or not, I was so upset. I will say though, once I found out, I kind of went into like defense mode, into like, I'm gonna get my man back. That same day that I found out, I brought her Starbucks and we went on a drive because I wanted her side of the story and I wanted to know if they were actually texting. She lied to my face, said they weren't. I made her add him and I could see all the text right there that they had been texting. I was kind of in shock in a way, but I knew that it wasn't a lie right from the get-go because it wasn't something that someone would just make up. After she got out of the car and lied to me, I added him on Snap and I pretty much was like, you're gonna tell me everything. And they had plans to hang out that night, which I was not about that, so I invited them over to my house and the guys ended up coming to my house instead. Kind of rude, I don't know, but I was just doing what I had to do. She told me everything and she came to the conclusion that I now knew, and she went into like begging mode and basically begged me for, I'd say 2 months to be friends again, how much our friendship meant to her and how she was in a bad place and that it would never happen again, which I should have just ended the friendship right there. None of my friends wanted me to be her friend again. They were all telling me like, Haley, this is so beyond fucked up. And I think they just realized that if she would have done it to me, she would do it to them because me and her were the closest. Someone I had so much fun with and cherished every moment with, that when all this happened, I was so incredibly upset. Even the stage that we're in right now still makes me really upset. Anyways, they end up blocking each other, but at that point, it was just like our friendship was in a really weird spot. I couldn't trust her, and I was just so incredibly confused on when it was happening. After this, I slowly ended up forgiving her closer to the beginning of soccer season, so I'd say about 2 months ago, we were totally fine, and I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. She was proving to me she was doing everything she could to be friends again, and this is where I should have just drawn the line, and I didn't because I wanted to be her friend. Like, she was one of my best friends. I didn't want to believe this even happened. Now, in this period of time when I wasn't talking to him, I hung out with this other guy one time. It was nothing at all, nothing deep, nothing personal, but coming from a perspective of you're trying to regain my trust, I'm obviously not going to be like, oh yeah, go touch every single guy I've been with. Which that's where I think the miscommunication was in this sense, is because I think she thinks I care about this specific guy, but it was more just like, you've been begging to be my friend, paragraphs after fucking paragraphs, begging to be my friend, and now you're gonna text me and beg me to go get with another guy I was with before? She's now dating the second guy, which honestly, I don't give a single shit about. I just wish that me and her could have had a better conversation of the way that the second thing happened. I don't care about the second one at all, but I did really care about the first because I truly was so incredibly hurt. I couldn't even believe it was happening. It was the weirdest thing ever. I didn't even know how to like go about things that were happening because I was just like, what the fuck? Anyways, that's a little story time because I know I posted a TikTok about it and everyone was like, oh, we need a story time. So there you guys go. That is why me and her are no longer friends. Anyways, guys, use this as a guide that when someone shows you their true colors, believe them. Peace out, guys.
My ex-boyfriend always knew that I wanted to be a young mom. We both started dating when we were 22. He also knew that one of my biggest fears was to be a single mother. And I think this is a legitimate fear to have, right? He also wanted to be a father, so this was not just my decision. I basically got pregnant a year after we started dating. I heard a lot of people's relationships get tested once you have a child, and ours definitely did get very challenged. He excused himself saying that he was working more, but I had my doubts. But I also didn't want to be a crazy girlfriend and check his phone and do all of that. I just wanted to trust him. Even though, like I said, I could sense that something was wrong. But I guess maybe I was trying to protect myself and ignore it. Basically, I never snooped through anything. I didn't intend on finding anything out. There's just one random day where he's working and I'm at home taking care of our daughter, and I get sent, anonymously by the way, texts and videos. It was pretty traumatic. It was 2 short videos, and it was of him and the girl he was cheating on me with. And I know he didn't send them, right? So she's the only one that could have sent those. It was basically them having in the car. I wait for him to get home and I confront him about it. Since I said that my biggest fear is being a single mother, I was willing to forgive him. I was so devastated, but in the back of my head I was like, okay, I want him to explain what this is to me, even though the proof is just so evident. So he comes, I'm bawling, I'm showing him what I just got sent, and I'm asking, who sent this to me? He starts crying too. He says that she was the one who probably sent those. I was like, okay, what a surprise, right? I didn't know this girl. He told me that she was also a single mother. He also said that he couldn't promise me that he would leave her because he didn't know which one of us he liked more. Yeah, you can guess how horrific this was to hear. So after hearing this, I didn't care, like I couldn't be with him still. And I know that they're in a relationship because we share custody, so I know what's going on in his life. But yeah, there's no way I'm ever allowing my daughter to go anywhere near that sick girl. My sister-in-law was a so this is what I did to her. So my sister-in-law and I have never really been close. She's never really made an effort to try and get to know my brother's side of the family. They got married last year and they obviously invited everybody, and she had like all these crazy demands, but whatever. I mean, everybody made an effort to be there for them. The day before the wedding, she was acting a little bit off. Like, she was making these offhanded remarks about our side of the family, but they were clearly targeted. But everybody was keeping their cool because this was their day and we didn't want to ruin it. So fast forward to getting the videos and the pictures from the wedding, and when I tell you that there was not one single picture or video of any person from my family. She completely and purposefully erased every single person from my brother's side of the family. So it's like we actually never even existed at that wedding. I was furious, obviously, because I was at my brother's wedding. I wanted to be in the wedding pictures I posed for. Oh, and I did text her about it, which was the most ironic part of the story because she gaslighted me the whole way through it. She told me that nobody had posed for the pictures. It's like, what do you mean? Like, my side of the family was posing for those pictures. I saw it. I was there. She was talking to me as if I was crazy, and I was like, I cannot argue with someone like this, so she'll get what she deserves one day. So at the time, my boyfriend and I were already talking about marriage, and I knew that the day of my wedding, I was gonna do her even worse. And that's exactly what I did. I had this whole thing planned out. I wanted her to feel like the star of the wedding. I hired a videographer, and I told him, like, please, photograph this person as much as you can. Make her feel like she's the star of the wedding and basically make her believe that he was taking all these pictures of her because she loves attention. And then in the final cut, she wouldn't even be in one of them. I also forgot to say something else I did that was very petty. I misspelled her name wrong on the wedding invite, and I knew that this would get to her too. I mean, just little things that I would do. And yesterday I got the final cut, and like I had planned, she's not there for even 1 second. She clearly noticed this because she hasn't stopped texting me, asking me where her wedding pictures are. I'm definitely not replying to her. I'm gonna make her feel so ignored. And at the next family gathering, if she confronts me in person, I'm just gonna do the same thing that she did to me. I'm gonna make her feel like she's crazy. I'm gonna be like, what do you mean? You didn't take any pictures? I don't care if this means she deserved this.